How do you find the runners before they run? Yo, Banter fam! Today we are bringing you a very special video. We're going to be going through your questions and your comments and giving you feedback, trading alpha, tips, and bringing you everything that you need to continue this incredible crypto journey. It's a bear market. It's crazy out there. But what you got to understand is this soon shall end and the bull market will start. And when that starts, you have to be ready. It's basically being a racer. You know that the race is coming and you got to prepare your car, you got to prepare your skills, and you don't know when the race actually is. But when it starts, you have to jump in, you have to go. Now guys, you need to remember that we have cohort 6 starting on the 13th of June. If you go below this video and you click on register to Sniper School, go follow the basic steps and come join me in class. Not only are you gonna get the best course in the world, you're gonna get live trading from the best traders in the world. You're gonna get an incredible community, a Discord with tons of charts and alpha every single day. You have every single tool that you need to succeed. Click the button and come start the journey with us. I want to introduce to you guys our special guest, a man that I'm very proud of, one that actually gives me motivation to continue this journey. Now it is time for you to see who the guest is. Now this is a man that's made me incredibly proud, that took all the information that we have given as a channel and put it into his own way, started his own strategy and started to turn his whole life around, now becoming one of the best traders in the world. Here's the man that won the ByBit competition. You have seen him before with a podcast that we've done, but now I'm excited for us to sit and to answer your guys' question. So I want to bring up the very special David. How are you doing, brother?
Sheldon, what's going on, man?
What's up, bro? We're surviving the bear market. We're prepping. How are you feeling, bro? Are you overwhelmed? It's been probably an incredible journey. I think it's been a lot for you.
No, I'm super grateful, super excited, fired up. I know that Rand had me on the show. You had me on the show, and I was like on 4 hours of sleep. And here we are right now. It's 1:14 p.m. my time. I think you said it was like 8 p.m. your time. So I got a little bit of energy in me.
You're still okay.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited, man. And I'm honored to be here with you right now. So.
Bro, I appreciate that so much. And I know you've been up every morning. You've now joined part of our groups now. You're becoming part of the Sniper team, part of the Banter. After enough dedication, after enough suffering, at some point your time comes. And please, can you just share with them how it's worth it? Is it not the journey that makes it worth it? When that success finally comes and something comes your way, you appreciate every liquidation. You appreciate every single time the market whooped your ass because it feels like fulfillment when you get there. How does it feel? How's this journey been for you?
Well, it's funny you say that. It's like when you get liquidated, you're like, what does this mean? Like, what am I supposed to learn from this? And you got a huge amount of liquidations, and it's like it all means something now. it all amounted to something.
What I love about what you did is you took the strategies, you took a lot of what I've taught, and you molded it into your own. And I think that's why it's so good that we're sitting here now and we're going to share the alpha with the whole audience and come together now, because you're there. I've made some success. You've made some success, and let's bring it together. The more successful people we can, I think let's create something incredible. Okay, now it is time to get into some of the questions. We have one from Nick. If you take a trade and soon after it starts to reverse direction, what's the best way to deal with it? Close it out or... David, I think you can start with this. I would say stop loss, but I think go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sometimes stop losses make sense, and I put stop losses there personally. But looking at the charts, looking at the different levels, for me, it's kind of like a personal decision. I can't really say like this is what I do every single time, but there's been instances where like I was in a phantom long and it started to go a different direction. And instead of taking the loss, I put faith in the charts. I put faith on the show and just the levels. Everything made sense. I'm paying attention to Bitcoin. I'm also looking at my sources and some of the things that I have a lot of respect for when it comes to Bitcoin sentiment. And if it makes sense, then in a situation where I feel confident, we call it laddering in. I call it a buffer. Different strategies. I know I mentioned the buffer. It is an advanced technique personally, but essentially laddering in, adding a little bit more to your position to kind of guarantee that you're not, number one, you're not going to lose the capital you have in there already. Number two, you're not going to get stopped out, which you guys probably can relate. Like you get stopped out from a wick and then it goes back and you're like, now you're FOMOing and like, I was in the trade, like what the heck? And For me, I hated that feeling, and so that's kind of why I've developed that personal strategy where I'm laddering in, or I'm creating that buffer, I'm adding more, I'm averaging in my position, and then now I've got a bigger position, maybe lesser leverage, and then as it starts to reverse, as it starts to go up, I'll kind of increase the leverage and feel a little bit more confident, and it gets exciting whenever you're in that win. And then from there, not just letting it ride all the way up, but being strategical with taking a little bit of profits and then starting new positions and things of that nature. And I'm sure you have some things to add.
Yeah, so I think obviously from my side, it's the sense of understanding when I'm taking the trade. So, people like the question was, if it goes in the opposite direction, do you cut it short? Of course, guys, you need to understand that there's always a structure and a full plan when you're taking a trade on the one and the last side. You have to have already calculated both. You've had to already had reasons for both, that when I see this, I have to call it short. And this is why I've always used, yes, a lot of trend lines, but the main purpose of a trend line is an emergency line in case my data or my trade doesn't play out perfectly. So for example, if there's any trade of me coming into some sort of flag and I'm looking to obviously enter the trade, I'm obviously looking at the breakout point over here. And if it starts to break out, I'm expecting that now that it's broken out, it needs to hold this level. You got to understand that when it comes to trading, you have two things, right? You got your top resistance and you got your support, two levels. Either way that we break, whatever was previously resistance must be support. So anything that was a previous high or a piece or level that we couldn't get through, we must now hold that to show that we're actually progressing, that one team is beating the other by breaking through that zone and holding it. And as long as we keep breaking levels and getting through it, that's exactly what you want to see. So by you now looking at a simple trade or looking at the charts and seeing a flag and you all of a sudden it's breaking, it's time to buy, what does that mean? That means that stay in that trade for as long as we still remain inside of that area. If we start to do this, guys, it's time to exit. It's done something that it was not supposed to do. And that's the thing. So as soon as it starts to break back in there, you out. Your stop should be below there. And this is why, just stick to a very simple system. And like you said, David, it's all down to the laddering in too. I think that was a big thing that you said now is 20, 30, 40%. So that if it goes wrong, you just take a hit on the smaller amount. People they don't need to fill their whole positions now. They can take time to fill it, right? What is your thoughts on that of building positions? Has that worked a lot for you in the journey?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just to kind of add a little bit about what you just went over, there was a coin before this SEC announcement called Filecoin. And same thing, it broke the trend and it was on the retest. I started a position. It started to go down a little bit. I added a little bit more, but I cut the position. I didn't do the buffer strategy. I didn't ladder in more. I took a loss, very minimal, and it could have been way worse. Looking at it now, you got to pay attention to the charts and you've got to be able to make that decision. That's why we're called snipers, right? You got to know when to pull the trigger and when to get out. And sometimes it makes sense to ladder in. Sometimes it makes sense to buffer in there. And
Are you talking about this?
Yes.
Look at that. Whoa, that's why I was saying, guys, sorry, just before you carry on, David, there we go. Always have something, that would have told you, whoa, something's happening. I'm glad you brought up that example. Like, look how this market can just tear at any point. So we got a question from Julian. I'm in that phantom trade, the chart that I actually just showed. Would appreciate if you let us know if you decide to close out before it hits stop loss or TP. So this goes straight back to, and I'm going to jump quickly straight back to the simple trade. For me, it's not about, am I going to just close it? I don't want to. I don't want to have to monitor my charts and have to sit there and stare at this thing the whole day. It's very simple. When this broke this trend over here, my stop loss would run under this zone over here. Okay? Would run there. Once I see that we have this push up, a higher high in play, it comes, it turns this previous highs into support. Remember what I just explained? And from here, I'm expecting this to either come down and stop me out. If it does that, I'm getting a way better entry on the next trade. Or what it's going to do is it's going to come down, it's going to make a low, and it's going to start to push up again. What that will do for me is it will give me two basic supports that I can draw a trend line in. And if I got my goal, like I said previously, that's where I want the trade to go. and it goes and it breaks this line first, it means it's not going to make there. You are losing momentum, and it is time to get out the trade. So if there is ever a time that we are getting out the trade before TP or stop loss hits, it will be on the break of momentum. When you know you're going to get stopped out, why get stopped out? And I think that's a big thing. If you know you're not going to hit your TP, why not get out and take profits? And that's what this very simple line does. What's your thoughts on that, David? You know, you're trying to predict where it's going and you got your analysis, but what do you do if it doesn't, if it starts to lose momentum in between?
What I will do, for example, is, I'm still in that render long from, 3 weeks ago. And my entry right now, I've averaged in, and I didn't do it perfectly. But my new average position entry is 204. And of course, I'm hoping that it's going to go up. Initially my target was $3.20. A lot of people were calling that. I believe you had some eyes on that as well. The whole announcement with Apple, and then Gary Gensler ruins the party. So, the amount of profits that I could have taken basically disappeared. You talked about that. But luckily I took a lot of it off the board. I took a chunk of it off, like whenever it was at that 270 region. And right now I have a stop loss in profits. So my strategy is, if it's going to go down and it's not going to go the way I want it to, I'm still going to make something. That happened to me, I think 3 or 4 days ago. I was in a sand long, was following the narrative with Metaverse and I believe the Korean exchanges, or no, China, one of the China exchanges, one of the coins was Mana. Or Mana and sand. So that's kind of my decision process. I'm going to go long on sand. And it went all the way up to 200%. And then I moved my stop loss in profits, and Gary Gensler ruins the party. Stopped me out. But guess what? I stopped out in profits, and I believe I closed it at 80% profits. Could have been higher, but that's just the game that we play.
So guys, for you can decide on your time frame. Have a rule system that shows you that if you're gonna know you're gonna get stopped out by losing a momentum trade, get out. Like, why are you gonna wait to get stopped? If you're waiting for a TP and it's this close to it and it's not hitting it, get out. Why are you still holding it? Like, it's okay. Release it. At least it gives you another shot, another opportunity for the next day. Another question, and I think this is a good one for you, David, because I know you focus a lot more on narratives, and you just spoke about sand and mana, and looking at, whoa, this was happening, I need to trade these. The question from Willie, I don't know. We are South African. We have the accent, and Afrikaans name Willie. So I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but how do you find the runners before they run, or how to find traceable coin? So I think what they're basically asking is, how do you try, if the whole market's flat and the market's gonna bounce at some point, how do you try find what's going to be the top runner? What's going to be one of the best tokens that are going to bounce, or give you the best returns? Because you've got so many tokens out there. What's your procedure on finding your token? How do you choose your tokens?
Yeah, no, good question. How do I find my token? So as mentioned before, I'll go on Discord, and all these altcoins, it's like a store. Like, what altcoins do you like? And I'll kind of eye the ones that I'm interested in or have more confidence in. Maybe it's because I've had success with them before. There's other coins too that I've taken losses on and I never really had good luck with them. Good example is 𝗙𝗍. People are talking about 𝗙𝗍 now. Like, 𝗙𝗍's at the bottom, it could go up, but I'm not going to follow 𝗙𝗍. I just had bad experience, and that's just me, right? And everybody else, you guys can be doing it differently. The banter bubbles is a huge one for me now. But I'm also, I got Telegram. There's other people that I follow that.
And who do you follow there? How do you know? Because there's also a lot of scammers on these things, as in Discord and Tele. Like, how do you get a good source? Who do you use?
For altcoins or for Bitcoin?
I'd probably say altcoins.
Yeah, altcoins. So there's a couple guys that I have respect for. They're not always right, but you guys have probably heard of the Bull. He's got 170,000 subscribers. If you're talking about a certain coin, and let's just say I'm in the chats and some other people are talking about a certain coin, and then I see the Bull talk about it, or Oliver's another good guy. He has 45,000 subscribers, then that's kind of like confirmation for me. Like, okay, multiple people are talking about this altcoin. Now I'm looking into the charts. Now I'm marking out the levels. I'm copying exactly what's been marked out.
Okay. And I like that you say the multiple influencers or the multiple people that have the name. If you hear the token multiple times, you know, pay attention to it. I think the big way that it works for me is volume. Volume's a really big one, because if you got so many tokens, like I have a whole list that I go through every morning. And the whole team goes through a list too. And it's like a lot of them will follow Bitcoin, right? A lot of tokens do. Probably 95% of them follow Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's forming this long trend, majority of the coins are following the long trend. And what you basically want to see is as they start to break those trends, the volume intake. Secondly, above that is you want to have the coin paired to Bitcoin. So I want to show you guys again quickly, just to remind you. Let's jump back into my ByBit here. ByBit. Okay. If you jump in over here, you know, you got a lot of tokens that you're trading to USDT, which is amazing, you know, to Tether, but ultimately you want to track them to Bitcoin too, because if you have a Bitcoin breakout, a long-term trend breakout, and you have a coin that's breaking out to Bitcoin, I want to show you the two differences here. If you look at Phantom, it broke that trend, right? So I was interested. Secondly, I jumped to the FTM BTC pairing, and at the same time I had the breakout to Bitcoin as well. And therefore, for the day, you can see that Phantom's up 1.5% and Bitcoin's up 0.5%. So the fact that I knew Bitcoin was breaking a critical level, if I have an altcoin that is breaking to Bitcoin too as Bitcoin's breaking out, therefore showing it's got the backing of Bitcoin and should perform pretty well for the day. So it's just a very simple thing of looking how strong it is to Bitcoin and looking at the volume too that's behind the actual breakout.
And just to add to that, Sheldon, that's also something that you taught me. I never had looked at BTC pairs before. And so on my trading view, I've now added a new list and I call it BTC pairing. And that's also part of my decision-making process is if I'm thinking about getting into Phantom or AVAX and I'm looking and it's increased by 1% compared to the other coins, that's telling me there's some movement here and it's probably going to go up some more percentages. And that's where you can scalp, or that's where you can potentially build a swing position if we think Bitcoin's going to go higher.
So there's a question here from 𝗙𝗀𝗘𝗘, I think. I don't know if I'm saying it right. This buffer idea is very interesting. Please teach us some practical examples. I don't know if you can share screen there. What I'm thinking, guys, this whole buffer thing, I like it. I like it very much. I like what it is, the way it sounds. And I think you need to definitely add it to actual sniper school. Guys, remember, spots are running out for cohort 6. It does start on the 13th of June. Come and sign up. We have 3 weeks together for me to prep you, to give you all the foundations. And from that, you join the live trading sessions every single day where we're going to practice. Let's jump into the buffer idea. Let's see some of these examples.
So let me give you an example of how the buffer can save your ass. This is something I did. So we were kind of talking about some ideas. Again, I believe this idea would have played out if Gary Gensler didn't attack the markets. But here I was a 10x long. Here's you can see here I marked where my average entry was, 2866. And that's super low for Gala games. But I had a buffer right before liquidation. So if you can see here, this is where I marked my buffer. And so how does that work?
So what is a buffer for those who don't know?
A buffer is essentially a laddered position, but it's only entered right above your liquidation as like an insurance, or that way you're not like getting stopped out, you're losing capital, and then you see it go the other way and you start getting FOMO, which is a scenario that can happen, right? So, okay. So what happened was this dip happened at negative 10%. So because I had this position here, the exchange says that my new entry was right here at 2732. But now I'm sitting at negative 50%. So when I'm at negative 50% and I see it, like if it did this and it started to go down, let me see if I can draw the brush, and it started to go down some more. This is where I'll probably, if I'm having conviction or I'm paying attention to the Bitcoin charts and I think it's going to reverse, this is where I'm adding margin, or this is where I could even add a secondary buffer down here, right? Because now my new entry is right here. You could have another potential one here. Okay, but that wasn't the scenario that I was thinking. So what happened is it bounced up, right? And here, this is where I actually, I closed half of it. And there's another strategy here. So if you close half of it, now it's kind of like you're at the same position, same size, but now you're at a lower entry point. So if it reverses, you're in that much more profit. Sometimes I'll sell half of it here, and then I'll put a buffer down here just to kind of stay in the range and just still try to catch the big move. Because usually whenever I'm doing this strategy, I'm trying to catch a big move, like a swing position. But in this case, because of all the uncertainty, I was reading all the sources, Coinbase got sued, I got out. I wasn't looking to get profits. I was looking to save my capital, because before I had this strategy, I'd cut half of my position at 50% or 80%, and I'm just stuck with a little bit of crypto, and I'm sitting there like upset with myself. And then in the scenario that it does go up, I'm just getting angry at myself. I'm getting emotional, and that's where revenge trading can start happening, and that's where you can lose everything, right? So it's more of a strategy to either save your ass or increase your chances of having a better entry for the big move. So guys, I just went over a strategy that I came up with. It's designed for two scenarios. Number one, to either save you from losing your capital, right? Getting out at break even. Or this is also designed to help you build like more of a swing position to not miss that big move and not to catch yourself in that situation where you're now FOMOing because you knew you were right from the very beginning. So if you guys think that's a strategy you'd like to have in the course, let us know. Like Sheldon says, we're looking to enhance.
Up in the comments, tell us if you want to see it. So I learned a lot from that. Like I never actually ever used to do that. I'll just watch my ass get liquidated many times, and I think the buffering thing is it's smart. It definitely is smart. It doesn't save the whole position, but it does give you another lifeline to just double question yourself, like, am I going to cut this loss or not? And I think that's the big thing. One thing that Craig says that meant a lot to me is like, why stand on a sinking ship when there's rockets going past? You know what I mean? And it's like, if you hold on this thing for too long, at least that buffer gives you that time to make that decision. I see there's a question from Uncle Candles. Okay, Uncle Candles. Hey, Sheldon, being that I'm American, what trading platform is the best option? So luckily, we do have a new sponsor within Sniper School. And we got it for this specific reason. It is called CoinW. So I'll show you over here. So you're able to trade in the US with this. You're able to trade leverage up to a very high leverage, but I'm not going to say that because you're not allowed to go that high. But it does allow you to have all different types of leverage, and you don't need KYC and you don't need a VPN either. So this is good. I've been using it now. I actually like it very much. It's very simple to use. Very easy to see your position sizes, how to put in your stop loss, take profit points, and it's very nice to actually use. And the volume is also really good too. So if you want to sign up below, you can sign up with the CoinW. This will get you into Sniper School as well. Remember guys, in order to get into Sniper School, you got to open an exchange account, and this one can definitely get you into Sniper School. Now let's have a look at another question. So we actually have a nice comment here from 𝗙𝗀𝗆𝗆. Great idea to bring a new successful trader to the Zoom. That's important because everyone have their little secrets and tools. What would make the differences, what leads to success. Okay, well done. New guy is great. So David, you can clearly see that the people are appreciating you coming and sharing your vision with it. And I'm pretty sure we both sat and we're like, this is cool. This is cool that I had the success story. Now you having the success story, and let's go find more. And the more that we can add, why is everyone in competition? And I think that's the big thing. Is why can't we just keep adding on our strategies together and just have this like whole row of education of people's success stories, people that have really done it. And that's the big thing. And I appreciate you coming and adding to the course. I'm not sure what you're thinking, but it's exciting. I think we need to find the next. Who are the next people that are making it happen? Because the more stories we can teach and all the little secrets and tools, because I know you're going to increase the course quite a bit just with what you've learned. It's a great thing, bro. I think we're starting something incredible here.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's all about the next success stories. And actually, the live session we had today, there was a gentleman named Brian, and I think he said he turned 2,000 into 100,000. I told Rand about it that he was going to do it, and now he's done it. You know, it's not just Sheldon, it's not just me. Now we have somebody else, and you guys could be the next one. But again, you have to make that decision, and what better way than to start with cohort 6, you know, limited spots, guys. Make sure you're signing up for that, because again, right now, these altcoins are at the low, and this is the time to accumulate.
I actually like this comment here from 𝗙𝗿𝗆𝗆𝗍𝗏. The psychological thing about consistent decision making is key. Now, this is a big thing, because it is like crypto. You're in here, you got to just make decisions all the time. And, you know, we're so used to the boss mentality where there's someone telling us what to do. Like, you're the boss here and you got to make all the decisions. And it kind of puts this idea in people's head that they have to firstly trade every day and they got to make all these huge decisions. And sometimes you make decisions in a bad state of mind, which really sucks. You know, you're not in a good place and you've got to make decisions. Sometimes you're in a great mind space, you're going to make decisions. And I think for me, it got to the point where it's not even about making a decision anymore. It's about setting it very clear to myself that before I take this trade, if this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do this. I build a strategy and I build a structure that I have to follow. There's no decision making. Oh, it's breaking my support trend line. Should I maybe hold on a little bit longer? There's zero decision making. It broke my trend, I'm out. It broke my other one, I'm in. Like, that's the sort of thing it takes. You actually got to get rid of that decision making. You got to make up your mind of what it is, and you got to stick to it. And this comes to the coins that you're trading. It comes to the time frame that you're trading. It comes with the structure and the tools that you use to take a trade. You know, you can have a bit of decision making of what I'm going to use and what tools, but when you've entered that trade, you got to remove the decision making. It is simple. It is there. If it crosses this line, I'm in. If it crosses this line, I'm out. And you have to consistently stick to that. And you're going to have something as in a trading journal, which you learn in the school, which monitors your growth and monitors how good you are every week. And you're able to use that data to tweak where you suck, of getting stopped out. These things are not working, you know, all these sort of things. You will see repetition in your own work that you got stopped out because you kept putting the stop losses in the same place, or you kept doing the same silly error. And it's the same thing when you're making money. As you kept doing the same thing 3 times, therefore you won 3 trades in a row. And something shifted in the market and you try to stick to the same thing, and that's where it started to turn. So you need to just get rid of this decision making once you've made the trade to a very simple structure. What's your thoughts on this? Consistently decision making is key. It's a big psychological thing. People are not used to this responsibility. How did you control yours?
It's actually something I learned from you. This is another takeaway, and I think it was in one of the classes. When you make your trade, you already have the strategy in place, so that way you can close your laptop and move on with your day. And before, I didn't have that. You know, I'm constantly like looking at my phone. I'm at the dinner table. You know, I'm with family, or I'm with people or friends, and you know, I'm not even really there with them because I'm looking at the charts. What's going on with Bitcoin, and so I just started to have a strategy, just like what you said. What's going to happen if it goes this way, and what's going to happen if it goes this way? There's 2 different scenarios. You have the plan already in place. You're prepared for it. You accept the fact that if it doesn't go the way I want it to, this is what I'm going to be faced with, and this is what I'm going to have, or whatever your stop loss strategy, buffer, whatever it is. And that way you have that peace of mind in this trading process, because it can be very stressful. You know, there's
and addictive. It's very addictive. Like, you can get really addicted to it.
Yes, absolutely. It is very addicting. But for me, I have, you know, family and friends, business, busy. I've got meetings all the time, and I'm not a full-time trader, but I've been able to do this part-time. And again, it's thanks to a lot of the golden nuggets that you have shared with us, like being able to come up with a plan and just shut the laptop and just go on with your day, enjoy your life.
Exactly. I think it's that, like, you take a trade, you put a stop loss, you put a TP in, and you leave. And the worst thing is you come there tomorrow, one of them have been hit, or none of them have been hit, and you're like, okay, this trade hasn't gone the way, it hasn't done anything, basically. It hasn't hit my stop loss or my take profit. Now I can make a decision, probably cut it, maybe move to the next one. So that's it. The worst scenario is you lose what you calculated to lose. So there, brother, I appreciate you here very much. I think I want to jump on and give a huge shout out yet again for Sniper School. I am telling you guys, it's the best school on the planet. Cohort 6 is coming now on the 13th of June. I've actually upgraded my live sessions. I'm coming with even more than what I've done before. I know people rave about it because it's just me. It's a place that I can really express, and you're gonna learn a lot of things that I think you already know, but it's gonna make a lot more sense by having structure, and you're gonna end up just becoming a whole complete trader as a person. Firstly, you're going to know your long-term, short-term, or medium-term trader. You're going to know that you want to trade to USDT, you want to trade to Bitcoin. You're going to know how to build businesses. You're going to know how to flush out your money, diversify. Every time you take profits, 20% goes there, 20% goes there, 20% goes there. You learn a splitting system. You learn all of the tools. You learn all of the exchanges. You learn a trading journal. You learn rule systems. You learn the psychology, the emotion part behind everything. And the biggest thing that I teach you in Sniper School is I teach you your purpose and what you really want out of this space, what life you want to create out of this. Don't just make this a money journey. Money does not create happiness. A balance of life, a full purpose of what you're doing, plus money creates the whole package. So come and join Sniper School. There are 3 basic steps to get into Sniper School. You go below, you click the registration button, it will send you an email. It will then tell you to open an exchange account, and it will give you all the links of the exchanges that you need to use. If you're in the US, use CoinW. We have MEXC, we have Bitget, we have ByBit. We have many different exchanges that you can sign up with. Once you've signed up, you can put $100 that you trade within the course. I teach you how to trade with businesses, how to create businesses, and you're going to use that as example. I'm going to teach you to no longer be afraid to push the button, to buy or sell. We're going to put money in there that you're going to use to learn. You're willing to pay thousands of dollars for a university degree and all these sort of things. I'm telling you that $100 is going to teach you how to trade. And that's what that money is for. Once you've done that, you're going to put in your user ID that we can confirm that you have used one of our links. Reason being is we're giving you this school for free. And that's how you get your sponsorship. Once you've put that through, it will then go through a verification system. 24 hours to 48 hours, you'll be accepted. You'll get access to the whole course. You'll get into our private Discords. You'll get access to all the live events. You'll get the live trading emails every single day of when we're going live. And like I said, that's a big part of being able to join the community and be a part of that. So guys, from the bottom of my heart, David, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the school. Thank you for being a story. Thank you for putting your everything up. You're up all the time, very early to be a part of this. Your time means everything to me, and thank you for helping me teach the world. And thank you for that, because your journey that you've done now is going to help so many people. So I appreciate that very much. So guys, as well, we have David over here. You need to follow him on Twitter. Now, he's about to build a huge following. He's about to become part of so many more. He's even going to be on my shows now and then. Like, it's going to be something great. He's showing you what he's learning, what he sees as interesting. Take that information. You have me on Twitter as well, Sheldon_Sniper. Take my information. Take all your tools. Take all your knowledge from the best school in the world, and then make your decision. Come join the family, guys. We love you all, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Much love.